Hello, this is Ed Close again on Science and Spirituality TV. Welcome to this series of videos about a discovery that integrates science and spirituality. The theories of everything proposed by physicists like Stephen Hawking are not really theories of everything because something very major has been left out. Einstein said, "I want to know God's thoughts. The rest is just detail." Max Planck, who discovered quantum physics, said, "There is no matter as such." And like Einstein, he believed that there is an infinite intelligence behind the phenomena that make up the observable universe. We're very much indebted to the efforts of these two great men. Einstein didn't find the theory of everything that he sought until the end of his life, but he started us down the right path when he adapted Hermann Minkowski's four-dimensional space-time as the geometry of relativity. After studying Einstein's work for many years, I came to understand that the theory of relativity is successful to a large extent because the mathematics of four-dimensional geometry more closely reflects reality than does the mathematics of three-dimensional geometry. Reality is multidimensional. We know that now. And your mind is the doorway to these extra dimensions. Several other physicists, notably Oscar Klein, Theodore Kaluza, and Wolfgang Pauli, began to carry this line of reasoning further by using five-dimensional models, and they had success. But for several reasons, they didn't go farther with this. But extra dimensions are necessary in order to explain quantum mechanics, and the most successful of current string theories involve multiple extra dimensions. So if extra dimensions beyond 3 and 4 are necessary, how many exactly? This question is still being debated in current mainstream physics. But I believe that mainstream scientists have missed two very important points. One, quantum models fail to adapt fully to the empirical fact that the physical reality we live in is quantized. It's made up of finite elements. And two, string theory models have failed to relate the nature and structure of these extra dimensions of reality to the nature and structure found in pure mathematics. So, what lies in the four plus dimensions surrounding the neurons and synapses of your brain? And why is there still no real theory of everything? It's because mainstream physicists refuse to look outside the box of materialism. In this series of presentations, I will show you how Dr. Nepi and I prove that something else exists beyond matter, energy, time, and space. This something else has already been detected by modern scientists, but they don't know what it is or how to explain it. This something else is something so much a part of our experience that most people overlook it completely and cannot believe it has anything to do with reality. So what is it? What is this something else? It's the only thing we experience directly. It is the one thing that perceives and shapes the entire reality we experience. Like the air we breathe, it's not visible to us. We are so close to it, we do not see it as something real. It's not matter, it's not energy. It's not the brain or the nervous system or chemistry. It's not the microtubules in the brain or any other part of the physical body. Consciousness is the only thing we experience directly. Consciousness is the something else without which we cannot have a real theory of everything. In my book, Transcendental Physics, I asked the question, Could matter and energy be explained in terms of consciousness instead of asking whether consciousness could be explained in terms of matter and energy? This was a clear reversal of what was and is currently being done in science. In TDVP, the theory of everything, Dr. Nepi and I include consciousness as the organizing principle, the substrate out of which everything comes into being. Developing the mathematics from that understanding, I saw that there had to be exactly 9 finite dimensions. Examining the breakthroughs from the past and looking at the natural structure of pure mathematics, it became clear that the nature of dimensional domains must change after each series of 3 dimensions. The first 3 dimensions define the domain of space. The second 3 dimensions define the domain of space-time, and the third 3 describe the domain of space, time, and consciousness. All 9 finite dimensions are encompassed in the transfinite substrate, and the transfinite substrate is encompassed by a primary form of consciousness, and that's what's traditionally been called God. The 3 dimensions of space make up the domain of finite physical objects. The 3 dimensions of time contain all finite events, and the 3 dimensions of consciousness contain all of the dimensions of space and time and individual consciousness. Stay with me as I tell my story of how putting consciousness into the equations incorporates all that has gone before, explains many things that cannot be explained in the current paradigm, and it changes everything and opens the door to a new reality that is rich and full of promise and opportunity. So stay tuned and stay with me as we explore this new paradigm shift into